All right, we are watching breaking news here as the Atlas V rocket carrying Boeing's first Starliner crew capsule is about ready to launch. You can see it on the launch pad. The staff was given a go to release the retractable crew access arm, and if they need be, they can put that back in about 15 seconds. But this is going to be a gorgeous shot here this morning as the United Launch Alliance is launching this roughly about 30 minutes before sunrise. So the video and the pictures we get from this Atlas V launch is going to be rather unique because it'll be dark at the surface and we'll get a little more light off towards the top. Now, this is the 81st launch of the Atlas V rocket, and what's happening today, this is an unmanned test flight. This is an orbital test flight. You'll hear NASA talk about this as an OFT, taking it to the International Space Station. The United Launch Alliance will deliver the CST-100 on a 98 nautical mile suborbital trajectory on off towards the International Space Station. Now, the countdown is underway. We're about 10 seconds away from launch. This is going to be visible all along the northeast coastline. 480 seconds from launch, we'll start to lose visibility all across the coast of New England. Let's go ahead and take this full. Here is the launch, the 81st of the Atlas V rocket. This is the ULA's 136 minutes, and let's listen in.
Now 10 seconds into flight. You've begun the pitch of the program. Body rate response is good. Now 15 seconds.
You're right. It's home to nearly 1,000 different marine organisms. And this is a very special kelp forest because we are diving in.
Looks like we got a clean launch so far. You can see a little bit of twilight there in the distance as this 81st launch of the Atlas V rocket. A success so far.
Protected. Everything around
180 engine operating parameters continue to look good.
And so what you get
Vehicle is now passing through max speed, maximum dynamic pressure.
Is a very healthy, functioning ecosystem.
Chamber pressures on both SRBs continue to look good. RD-180 engine operating parameters also continue to look good.
Take a closer look.
Now passing 1 minute into flight.
Different animals that call the kelp forest home.
And Mach 1, Atlas V is now supersonic.
Once the Starliner is in orbit, the Starliner will separate from the Atlas V, and the Starliner engines will burn, and that will take it the rest of the way into orbit and eventually to the International Space Station.
1 minute, 20 seconds into flight.
Right now, quite the beautiful sight. This is the first step there for United Launch Alliance to get a manned crew up to the International Space Station. This is their first step in getting those astronauts back up and taking man back to space there with this capsule.
And we have burnout on both solid rocket boosters. Atlas will hold on to the SRBs for an additional 48 seconds prior to jettison. RD-180 has gone back up to full thrust as expected. Engine response looks good.
Boeing has been developing this ferry to take supplies and crew back up to the International Space Station. And like Boeing, SpaceX also holds a commercial crew deal with NASA. And this is the first step here with Boeing's Starliner.
And at 2 minutes 11 seconds into flight, the Atlas rocket now weighs just 1/2 of what it did at launch, burning propellant at a rate of 2,800 pounds per second.
Quite the beautiful shot there as, again, we're watching, if you're just joining us, this is the 81st launch of the Atlas V rocket. This is taking the Boeing CST-100 Starliner into orbit, the first test flight here to eventually take a live crew of astronauts back up to the space station.
RD-180 continues to perform well. Engine's now throttling down slightly. Engine response looks good. And Atlas V is now traveling at over 5 times the speed of sound.
Some impressive numbers coming there. It's always good to hear the positive and good to go.
Centaur reaction control system is now pressurizing the flight levels. System response looks good.
Yep, everything looking good so far. The Atlas V rocket, a very powerful one there. This launch system was designed by Lockheed Martin and has been operated by United Launch Alliance here for a while. It's a joint venture here between Lockheed and Boeing. Always great to see a successful launch. We'll stay on top of this as the first Starliner crew has officially been launched out of Cape Canaveral this morning. Stick around. We got much